Imagine waking up one morning and the past 5 years of your life are completely gone, not forgotten, erased. Now imagine those 5 years included some of the most traumatic experiences a human being could endure. War, death, explosions, screaming, and then nothing. Just silence in your mind where those memories should be. This is not science fiction. This happened to a real soldier. And what his brain did protect him might be one of the most disturbing defense mechanisms in all of medicine. Stay with me, because what you are about to discover will change how you think about memory forever. His name was Private First Class Michael Johnson, 23 years old, a soldier in the United States Marine Corps, stationed in Iraq during some of the most violent years of the conflict. He was deployed in 2006, right in the heart of the insurgency, where improvised explosive devices turned every street corner into a potential death trap. But this story does not begin in Iraq. It begins 2 years after he returned home. Michael woke up one Tuesday morning in his apartment in North Carolina. He made breakfast, turned on the television, and then he saw something that made his blood run cold. A news report about veterans struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. Combat footage from Iraq played across the screen, and Michael felt nothing, no recognition, no memory. It was like watching a movie about someone else's life. He looked down at his arms and saw the scars, burn marks, shrapnel wounds, evidence of violence his body remembered, but his mind had completely erased. He checked his closet and found his uniform, his medals, photographs of him in combat gear with his unit, strangers smiling back at him from pictures he had no memory of taking. Every single memory from his deployment had vanished. 18 months of his life, gone like they never existed. But here is where this gets truly unsettling. This was not a head injury. There was no explosion that caused brain damage. No car accident. No physical trauma to explain it. His brain had simply decided those memories were too dangerous to keep. Think about your own memories for a moment. Your first day of school, your first kiss, the happiest moment of your life. Now imagine if your brain could just delete them without your permission, without warning. What else might it be hiding from you right now? When Michael finally went to the Department of Veterans Affairs hospital, the doctors were puzzled. Standard medical tests showed nothing wrong. His brain scans were normal. No tumors, no lesions, no physical explanation for such massive memory loss. But then they brought in Dr. Sarah Friedman, a neuropsychologist who specialized in trauma-related memory disorders. And she recognized something the other doctors had missed. This was dissociative amnesia, a condition so rare and so extreme that most doctors will never see a case in their entire careers. Here is what makes this absolutely terrifying. Dissociative amnesia is not caused by damage to the brain. It is caused by the brain protecting itself. When someone experiences trauma so severe, so overwhelming, that processing would essentially break them, the mind does something drastic. It buries those memories so deep that even the person who lived through them cannot access them anymore. It is like your brain builds a wall around the worst moments of your life and loses the key on purpose. Dr. Friedman began working with Michael, trying to recover those lost memories. But what she discovered made her question whether recovery was even the right goal. Through therapy sessions, tiny fragments began to emerge. Not full memories, but feelings, sensations. Michael would suddenly feel intense panic for no reason. He would wake up screaming from nightmares. He could not remember the moment he opened his eyes. His body remembered the fear, even though his conscious mind had no idea what was afraid of. And then one day, during a therapy session, a memory broke through. What Michael remembered in that moment was so disturbing that Dr. Friedman had to stop the session immediately. And when you hear what it was, you will understand why his brain had been hiding it. Michael remembered an explosion. He was on patrol with his unit when an improvised explosive device detonated just meters away. The blast threw him against a concrete wall. When he opened his eyes, 2 of his closest friends were dead. Another soldier, someone he had known since basic training, was lying on the ground screaming, bleeding out from wounds that Michael could see were fatal. And Michael could not move. He was pinned under debris, forced to watch his friend die slowly over the course of 20 minutes while waiting for medical evacuation. Unable to help, unable to look away, unable to do anything but witness. That memory had been locked away for years. And the moment it returned, Michael understood why. The guilt, the helplessness, the image of his friend's face. It was not just a bad memory. It was the kind of experience that makes you question whether you even want to go on living. His brain had been protecting him from that. And now that protection was gone. Here is the truth about dissociative amnesia that most people do not understand. Forgetting can be survival. Michael's brain was not malfunctioning when it erased those memories. It was doing exactly what it evolved to do. Keep him alive. Keep him functional. Keep him from collapsing under the weight of trauma that would have crushed him. But here is the devastating paradox. You cannot heal from what you cannot remember. Michael spent years feeling disconnected from his own life, wondering why he felt broken without understanding what broke him. The amnesia protected him from the pain, but it also prevented him from ever truly recovering. Dr. Friedman worked with Michael for 3 more years, slowly, carefully, helping him process those memories in a controlled way, teaching him that remembering does not mean reliving, that he could acknowledge what happened without being destroyed by it. Today, Michael has recovered most of his memories from Iraq, and he says something that should make all of us think differently about trauma. He wishes he could forget again sometimes. But he also knows that healing required remembering. The human brain is both our greatest protector and sometimes our own worst enemy. It can shield us from unbearable pain. But in doing so, it can also trap us in a life we do not fully understand. Michael's case is not unique. Thousands of soldiers, survivors of abuse, victims of violence experience some form of dissociative amnesia. Their brains performing emergency surgery on their memories, cutting out the infected parts to save the whole. The mind's relationship with truth is more complicated than we ever imagined. Sometimes it protects us by hiding reality. And sometimes, like in the case I am about to show you next, it protects us by creating an entirely false one. If this story disturbs you, wait until you hear about the girl who could not stop lying. Not because she wanted to, but because her brain was wired to create false realities. Click the video on your screen right now to discover one of the most bizarre psychological conditions ever documented. Trust me, you will not believe what the human mind is capable of. And if you found this story as fascinating and unsettling as I did, leave a like and subscribe. Because we are only beginning to understand how strange and mysterious our own minds really are.